twisting, turning. That's a penalty, is it? No, he's still going. Oh, how about that? How about that?
Two friends, two minds, and one love for Arsenal Football Club. You are now listening to the Caught in Two Minds podcast.
Meanwhile, Shelly weaves his way through.
What's going on? Welcome to the podcast, Caught in Two Minds. It's your boy E. Marshall, Uncle E. Chilling with that Guna Rush. The gang is back. You know,
Hello.
Look at us. He's got some headphones on. He's got a mic.
Is he going professional? Is he tightening his game up?
You know what I mean? He's still right. He's in a cave right now, but we're gonna get a light on his face, and he'll be all down here, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have Fitz back on the podcast. Tremendous. Hey, so if you witness that match, you know what time it is. All is well with the universe. The world's gonna keep on spinning. Everything is perfect out there because if you couldn't see this coming,
no,
then I don't. I don't know what to tell you. I was disappointed in myself for not thinking it was going to come to this. But yeah, what are some of your thoughts before we dive in about the predictability of it all?
Yeah, I mean, lineups wise, Xhaka's back.
Hold on before you get. I knew you was gonna start. That's why I didn't even say that. I knew as soon as Xhaka was back, you're gonna start raging. But go ahead.
You ready for me to shock you though?
Yeah, I am.
And I wrote down, and I'm happy about it. I'm okay. There's some things that I had to come to terms with.
Okay.
And watching football without him and maybe thinking about what we were going to have with him, I was okay with it. I mean, I was happy to see him back as at least part of the shuffle. He's back in the mix.
Right. So, I mean, perfect timing too, if you think about it, with AFCON coming.
Yes, and plenty of December games before that, and man,
right.
And then it was I was happy to see Lacazette instead of Abba, if for nothing else, just sending a message. But I mean, I've been a Laka guy for a while. I think Laka gives us better link up play, better effort than Abba.
Definitely agree with that, but today was not his day. And it doesn't matter who we have playing down the middle, the way we play.
Exactly.
I started thinking about Abba and how much heat he's taking. He's taking heat because the rare opportunities he gets to score a goal, he doesn't take them. You know what I mean? Like he gets barely any chances, and when he gets some, he doesn't take them. And tonight at the end of the game was another beautiful example of that.
Breathe.
But no, when I saw Laka, I was who else are we gonna play? Like, what else are we gonna do?
There's
nothing really.
I mean, just to be controversial, just because the poor guy took heat for coming on today, but I tell you what, man. I mean, Nketiah's effort is every bit as anybody else that we could play in that position. So, whatever we could say, we could say, oh, we're really just giving up if we play Nketiah, but not really. Not effort wise, we wouldn't be.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, but I mean, he missed an awful chance today. But
Ouch.
he didn't sign the he doesn't want to play at Arsenal anymore based on his
Yeah.
contract talks. And you can't. I'm tired of that shit. Playing fools that don't want to be at the club no more. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. You know, we should even be in this situation where we have to play him, but then we, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
And I
all just
mean,
messy, dude.
it
It's
kind of
messy.
shows like the depth of our lineup. Like, I mean, we're still kind of in the same position we always been. Like, we're thin enough that if we got to go too deep in a position, we're kind of in trouble. You know, who's it going to be at that point if we have to go too deep at striker? You know, if
Well,
Alba
yeah.
and Laka can't go, then Balogun.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. I
Move
mean,
Martinelli up top. Like, I mean, there's so many,
this is,
you know,
but this is something.
Band-Aids.
This is something, you know, everybody can see. You know, everybody knows what the deal is, and if you know you're not going to play Balogun or Nkita, you know,
Yeah.
loan one of them out and sell the other, and buy a striker.
Yeah.
You know, Laka's leaving. You know, it's just a mess.
I mean, the weirdest thing is just like when I hear guys say like, okay, they're leaving. I mean, I can't blame them. Number one, and number two, a lot of time, I mean, we're not talking about guys that didn't put in their time and try to get up there.
Yeah, they're
the team is giving up on them, then they giving up on them, and you know that's part of business and stuff like that. But you know that's what I mean by our thinness. There's nobody else, so we gotta kind of play them.
Of course,
you know.
I mean, nobody's saying that. It's just the predicament we're in.
Yeah,
is ridiculous. It's kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers with Roethlisberger, like dead man walking. But you got to just put him out there, and this is something, you know, you should have took care of this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know? Instead of giving Abba the huge contract when he's over 30, you get rid of him. You know, it's better to get rid of him too soon than too late. And right now we're in a predicament where Laka, Abba, Eddie, it's too late. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. But no, I feel you as far as the thinness of the squad. That's I mean, January.
You know, funny. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, January has to be a very, very busy month for Edu, Arteta, and Arsenal.
Right.
Because like you just said, we need bodies everywhere.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, you know, what's funny too about what you were saying is, you know, it's one thing to say like we need to make sure that we, you know, just don't throw out big, huge commitments to guys that are turning 32 or 30, you know. But I mean, it's so weird to say that we have any kind of real like club theories about the way we handle our business. They can act like we do, but the fact that we let so many guys go into their last 6 months to where they can just leave on a free means that it's like it's kind of an embarrassment the way that we handle our contracts and the way that we handle our guys, the way that we don't make decisions on time to at least get the most out of these guys. I mean, you know, Laka, you could have got something for him. You could have got something for him if that's the case. You know,
I mean, just look what's going on. We're doing the same thing with like Bellerin. Like he's out on loan right now. You know, it's tough. You know, you want to sell these guys for, you know, what you think they're worth, but you know the way, you know, financially everybody is right now based on the pandemic. You know, you're not gonna get really what what you think mediocre players worth. You know what I mean? But it does show you the chaos within you know, Edu and whoever is bringing in these people and whatever we're doing. It's like last year, you would have thought, okay, so we're going with an experienced team. Willian, Alba gets the huge contract. Somebody, you know, there's a few other players. I'm probably forgetting their names. But
even signing Partey was kind of like, an experienced guy.
He's 28 in quotation marks. I talked about his, you know, birth certificate. Anyway, but it's a complete mess. And losses like today, just highlight all that, you know.
Yeah.
We were fooled with the little unbeaten run and everything's going good, but we were squeaking out games, but we just get so overly optimistic on one end and then overly pessimistic on the other end. And I'm trying to stay even kilter. Today in the first half of this game was so boring.
It was
It was so boring. Like I miss Nuno just for at least, he gives you, there's a little pizzazz out there. I'm not saying he's better than Tierney and Tierney shouldn't have started. I'm just saying from a entertainment,
like just
value.
watching him run around at least feels like we're doing
something. But it was great to see Tierney back, although he goes clattering into the sideboard. I thought he was hurt right away. I was just like, here we go. But he put in a great cross to Odegaard for the first goal.
Wonderful cross.
I'm thinking after 40 minutes of just nothing, absolutely nothing, we get a goal. Great. Yeah. Okay, that's a platform going into the second half to maybe push on and get the second goal, because we know, as Arsenal fans, we need it. We gotta have that second goal.
Yeah. Well, and that goal, talk about the timeliness of it too, was it was like an answer to that the VAR that took the goal away from Everton.
Oh yeah,
because he was offsides, and then we came right down and scored, and it was like it was kind of nice answer, and it was like, okay, man. I mean,
right before halftime,
almost like to tell Everton, like, hey, man, I know you've been like, y'all been pushing pretty hard, but we got you.
That was right before halftime too. Everything was just looking perfect, like they had just got a goal disallowed by offsides. We score right before halftime. I'm like, wow, this, hey, I started perking up. I woke up a little bit like, okay, we're going to do something. But before we get into the second half fiasco, should Godfrey have been sent off for that stamp on Tomiyasu's head?
I mean, just because, excuse me, just because I took a look online, I know it's not going to be a popular opinion.
Oh, who cares?
I didn't. I mean, it ended up being brutal.
Yeah.
I saw no intent in it, though. I didn't think like he tried to stomp him or even really tried to get away with one. Like, it just
happened to you.
Tommy also kind of came in a little bit like kind of just rough and tumble and ended up in a bad spot, man. And I mean, so I didn't think he deserved it. Now, of course, when I talk about what I saw online, it was just everybody that freeze framed the picture of right when he's stomping and be like, hey, how could this not be a red? And I'm just like, this is like a beautiful example of how things can be not what they really are online. It's like
my first thought was, I mean, he stepped on somebody's face. That was my first thought. But then they showed him, and he did have who was that? Higginbottom, then one of the pundits over here. He said he kind of glanced down, and but I mean, I did see him glance down, but the way he looked to his right like he didn't think he was going to catch him, or he didn't even really know it. His face was there. But to me, here's the thing. Tomiyasu has to play that up. He can't be so stoic there, dude. You gotta sell it sometimes. You gotta have the wherewithal. You gotta know the dark arts to be able to sell that, to at least get a yellow card. At least a yellow card. Yeah. And Mike Dean, you can't look at that and be like, okay, that's nothing. Because a lot of times people don't mean to step on somebody's foot, and it's a yellow card. You know what I mean? So he might not have meant to step on that fool's face.
Yeah.
So it's still got to be at least a yellow card. And I'm kind of disappointed in Tomiyasu because he didn't really sell it. That fool got up. He didn't even have to change his shirt. His face was bleeding. Usually they make you go to the sidelines and change and shit.
And just think, he came from the Italian league. Come on.
He's got to know he needs to sell that. And here's another thing to go with the whole Godfrey thing. Godfrey's running around there, the whole dark arts thing. He's running around there, stepping on people's faces, kicking lumps in Starboy every chance he gets, and nobody makes an attempt to fuck him up. In a professional dark arts manner, like, hey, you're not going to be able to just kick lumps in the Starboy, okay? Not to get sent off. You gotta know how to play that game within the game. And we got a bunch of choir boys out there right now.
There's a price to pay for kicking our star.
Thank you.
Right. Somebody has to play enforcer.
Somebody.
I was kind of thinking about Partey today. And
somebody put a hex on him, but go ahead.
Actually, I'm sorry. Let me not get away from Partey real quick, because I wanted to say this about Tomiyasu.
Yeah.
I think he started off like gangbusters, and I'm still not disappointed in any way with his game. He plays hard and has a little creativity to his game. But I think it is starting to sink in that he's in a different league now. There's a few times when he thinks kind of like when he comes charging, he's used to guys kind of backing off him. And he didn't know, he didn't realize Premier League, little 5'9" dudes don't care. They're going to run into you anyway. They're not afraid of your size kind of thing. And
they're not afraid. They're
starting to get physical with him,
Right. They're not afraid of the size of his head. That doesn't intimidate anybody.
Now, when I go to Partey, what we were talking about with that,
the dark arts, him or Xhaka, they should be veterans enough to know that. But go ahead.
The dark art, and I mean, Xhaka tries to do that a little bit, but he's like I always come back to, just not the best athlete. So a lot of times he just gets into awkward spots where it's just so obvious. Geez, dude, you made that look bad.
That's a lazy, awful challenge.
But I was thinking about, what are these prototype defensive mids? And I'm just there was a time when Michael Ballack, Michael Carrick, trigger word, excuse me, everybody, Michael Carrick. There's these handful of defensive mids that their job was to stay back and just enforce the middle.
Michael Essien.
And I mean, the whole thing to me is, because what I'm starting to notice now is, as well as our defense plays, there's a little pocket in between, behind Partey and in front of the center backs, that just opens up and gives these guys time on the ball in front of our box. When they receive balls in there, it's so weird how much time they have to set, look, adjust their, kick, go to the far post, try to slam one. I mean, nobody closes them down. And I normally I would say center backs, that's your job at that point, to close them down. But they kind of got their hands full too. And there's this pocket. We shouldn't have Partey and Xhaka both playing so high up the pitch. We require them to play offense. We require them to be part of the offense. So then Partey he's just out of position. And there's this pocket in there that just allows other teams to exploit it. They just exploit us in there.
Yeah. I mean, those two. Yeah, there's no oomph in the midfield. We don't really win balls back. Fools are kind of spread out. We're out of position. Partey does like to creep up every now and then, but yeah, it's just I just don't see the like. Okay, we score the goal. We sit back, don't really do much in the first half. We're trying to draw Everton out. We're passing it sideways. We're keeping possession. We're not putting any balls forward so anybody can Martinelli, with all his pace to run on. We're just kind of fucking around out there. And we score the goal, and then we start fucking around even more. It's like this team hasn't they've lost, what is it, 9 in a row, or they haven't won a home game in so long. And here we are up 1-0. Luckily, because he's barely offsides twice, Richarlison.
Yeah.
And we're still fucking around, like no urgency to get that second goal. It wasn't until they score when we try, even Martin, the announcer, like he's just like, oh wow, this is strange. They're starting to play again after Arsenal, after Everton scored. Like even the announcers are like,
it's so visible.
Like, like wow, they're completely just bullshitting and lollygagging out here. And look, Everton played the way we should have been playing. They were desperate, and they just went all out. They went all out. But anyway, I went on a little rant there, but it's like,
well, I want to know, did you notice this? Because I did make a little side note. Excuse me. Hey. No. Anyway, but did you notice that Townsend on the first offside set piece on the free kick, did you notice that he did he looked at Richarlison, he gave him a wink, he got his attention. Like it was so obvious that he did it like 2 or 3 times to really make sure Richarlison knew what I was talking about. That it was that's where he was going. Like I told myself, that's where he's going. And the kick went up, and that's exactly where the ball went. And that's not to say I'm a guru, but damn, I mean, if it's so obvious, man, like, I mean, you could see these things from the field. If you're looking at Townsend, you could see who's he looking at.
Right.
Is he looking my way or over my right shoulder or over my left shoulder? Which one is it? Like, like figure it out, man. Like it just seems so like, and I just like thought to myself, like, I don't know, man. I see teams do this kind of stuff to Arsenal all the time. Like they do the eye communication. Hey, go, and just launch one. And amazingly, the guy's there. Like it's wide open. Like nobody picks up on it. And
I mean,
in the meantime, we just continue to just slowly whip it side to side and try. That's the part where I said, like, we require Xhaka and Partey to actually get the offense going. It's one of them two that has to skip it past one pass to the second person on the wing or find somebody cutting in the middle. It's always up to them to do it. Like, so they have to kind of come up the pitch some, and they're not far enough back, I don't think.
Yeah, they just I mean, last game we talked about, is it the players' mentality or is it the coach's mentality as far as taking your foot off the gas? And it's just happening too much now. Like it's something they're drilled upon. That was the tactics going into the game today.
Right.
It's kind of lollygag and bullshit it around and get out of here with a 1-0. And my whole thing with Arteta is, if you remember the way he played, safe, safe,
just
so unaggressive, very tidy, but just extremely safe. and teams take the personality of their manager, and it just looks like that's just how we play now. It's a mess. It's a mess. Last week I said there's no chance at the top 4. Looks like I'm going to be right about that. But now the question I want to ask you: is there a chance at the top 7? Can we get a Europa League spot? You're going to say yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. Of course.
Of course, huh?
Yeah.
Based on everything you're seeing, why not?
Yeah, no problem.
We're done, dude. We're done. We're done. But we're done. We're done. This time, hey, I'm still gonna support the team. I don't care when they fire Arteta. I know it's gonna happen at some point. It's just gonna take a little balls, but somebody within the organization has got to have them. But this is gonna continue. There's no way this can get better. There's no way. We're not creating any chances.
The
defense is great. We're not pressing. We're not playing it out from the back. We're not doing any of the things the little genius is supposed to be bringing to the club. We're hanging on for 1-0 victories or 2-1, or we're not doing anything offensively. Nothing.
Yeah. I think his tactics are all about formation. It's all about formation, but It's got nothing to do about tactics. Like where do we attack? How do you break a defense down? Like it can't be that these teams can pressure the ball all the way back to Ramsdale. Yet, as we move the ball up the pitch, we can't get anybody in behind or cutting in between. We can't they can't press the whole pitch. There has to be somebody that breaks free and gets open. It's just, and we just don't do it. There's just nothing threatening about his tactics.
Nothing. You can shit on I know the reason why we shit on Aubameyang, but at the same time, you saw it today with Laka. There's nothing going on for those guys. You know what I mean? They're just running around trying to half-ass press with Odegaard. But there's nothing going on as far as in the box, receiving a ball, trying to score a goal. That shit that's not going on. You know what I mean? If our right back or our left back doesn't get really out wide and put in a cross, then it's just not happening. Or if Smith Rowe doesn't pounce on a rebound.
Yeah, I know.
I mean? All his goals come from pouncing on rebounds. But as far as chance creation, how can you? I mean, there's no way we're getting top 7. No way. The wheels are about to fall off. They're about to fall off. We just lost to a team that hasn't won a game in 9 matches. And Man U before that was reeling. The shit was hitting the fan.
Yep.
They scored 3 again. We let them off.
Newcastle gave us a game.
And here's the thing. We're letting these teams off the hook. And that's the most disappointing part. I keep saying the foot's coming off the gas. We start lollygagging, and sometimes we squeak out of there against poor opposition. And sometimes we, get lucky. Actually, we don't beat anybody near us. Within the top 7 or within the top 10. That's a struggle for us.
I mean, we beat Tottenham.
Yeah, okay. We beat them. That's a rival.
And did we beat West Ham?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I
mean, it's just. I mean, I know it's.
I mean, we beat Tottenham. We beat Tottenham. That's a North London derby. It wasn't, Okay. Yeah. They're ahead of us now. They're ahead of us. They got a new manager. They're ahead of us some points. They've caught us. They got a game in hand. So yeah, we beat Tottenham. Yeah, but they're ahead of us right now with points.
I
don't know how you can think we can get top 7.
It's just this kind of like what I was saying last week. I mean, it's just. The faith in the other squads around me just tells me we have a chance. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's 1 week later and I've already backed off of top 4. So,
And I'm trying to convince you to back off top 7. I love it. But yeah, What did you think about? I mean, that was a hell of a shot by Richarlison. Who scored that goal for them?
Richarlison scored the header.
He had a hat trick, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Two of them were taken away, and then he gets the winning goal.
And both legitimately offsides. He was offsides on both.
No, totally. Those are the things that do ruin the game, though. Those kind of calls and the stopping.
Yeah.
That's what everybody.
And I mean, it doesn't actually change the fact that nobody was checking him. You know, like, right. He was offsides, but nobody had him checked. No, you know, it was like he was running free.
Yeah, I mean, we played a tight line though. My phone is resetting. I lost some of my notes, but what did you go ahead? You got anything?
What was the other?
Look at you.
I mean, I kind of hit my stuff. The only other thing that I was just going to talk about was just, you know, the fact that Xhaka, you know, he did restore a bit of calm out there. I don't know. When I look at Partey play, I think he likes playing with Xhaka better than anybody. I don't know exactly how that changes his role, but it changes it a little bit. And
yeah. The thing with that, I would clearly agree with that. Just like Tierney, when Tierney's out there, you know, he's more controlled than Nuno, and the team is kind of like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? We don't have this wild guy out here asking us to do too much. You know, we could just play our game. But I think that's the Xhaka point you just made is part of the problem. And I know that's why Arteta loves to play him, because he's safe. You know, he's not gonna do too much, take too many risks.
Yeah.
And somebody put a hex on Partey. He needs to, when he goes to the African Cup of Nations, he needs to find a witch doctor and get it taken off. Did you see him today? Like, it was one point where he was just standing there with the ball at his feet. And I think it was Richarlison came all the way back and almost snuck up to him and just took it from him. Like, he didn't even, he was like, oh shit, I'm here again.
Didn't knock it away, but I think Odegaard kind of saved him, you know, and like got it back. But it was just, I don't know. It was like, it reminds me of what I was talking about last week. Like, it just feels like we didn't get what we, signed up for. Like, there's a lot of moments lately where it's just like, he literally just kind of airheads it. Like, he wasn't even thinking. Like,
Diego Simeone just got the best years of his whole career. Just sucked them dry, and then played games with us to make us overpay. You know what I mean? Like, no.
Well, Simeone, like, he puts potions together, and like
so he's the one.
Takes you to a basement and makes you drink this potion, and
here, Punta, drink this, huh? But what'd you learn today, man? If anything,
it was mostly that Xhaka and the midfield, it was more settled today, but then I don't know if that's still good going forward. It's probably the best thing we got for now, but going forward, by the end of the season, I don't know if I want to see either one of these guys in there anymore. Partey drives me crazy. I mean, the only reason why I even put Partey in jeopardy is just because, man, I really do feel like Maitland-Niles could do as good as anybody on this pitch. And I know what kind of athlete he is. He's a much more dynamic athlete. So if you want somebody to occasionally have to be part of the attack, I think Maitland-Niles. I mean, Xhaka came up on a couple balls today that I was just like, let him rip, let it go, just not even thinking about it. Doesn't even consider it.
Right. You look at the game-winning goal today for Everton. He just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna take a shot,"
Yeah.
and it it worked out for him.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do that, especially when you're desperate.
Yeah.
You need points, and we're not playing like a team that's trying to fight for the top anything. We just don't.
No.
We don't play like a team that's desperate for points, that's willing to do anything for them. And the midfield is way too safe. Just like your point you just made is it's just safe, nothing dynamic about it. No real speed or quickness. In today's game, you need something. You can only have one big slow dude who's out there blowing shit up. Liverpool have Fabinho. That's their one guy, the big guy who takes a foul, gets a yellow, gets stuck in on people, but everybody else is zipping around trying to make shit happen. And we just don't have enough of those players. They're all out wide.
Yeah.
And we all know the game is won in the midfield,
Yeah. And we do have a bit of a funky, it's part of his tactic that Tierney bombs up the left and Xhaka drops back to play with that back line. Like he literally drops back and he's almost in line with Gabriel and White.
Right. Yeah.
And then in the meantime, if Partey decides he's coming up to help them and try to slot a pass somewhere or swing one out to Saka, now, it really is like the middle of the pitch is kind of open.
Yeah.
There's nobody covering actually. So we got two coverage guys that kind of are asked to kind of separate and leave these big holes.
Yeah.
Nobody's covering that. And it's up to our center backs to kind of hold their own, and they're good at that. But hey, if we ask them to do that all the time, things are going to happen. Problems are going to occur.
Eventually we're going to concede. In that whole style, yeah. He's had enough time he's had enough time to work with the team and install some of his tactics. The playing it out from the back. Man City have to. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they're there. This is what we do. Play it out from the fucking back. Figure it out. Yeah. Liverpool. And I'm not saying we're as good as those teams, but if this is what you want to do, then, periodically I got to see it.
Yeah.
I got to see it. Did you see anything like that today?
No.
I know I was on Instagram a lot during the first half, but but yeah,
workout chicks again.
I'm getting fitness motivation. You feel me? But and another thing, did you see that Partey shot in the first half?
Oh,
he kicked it, rose in. Just dumb shit like that.
Look, we were just talking about him, and I consider just leaving it alone. But yeah,
he looks like his feet hurt. He looks like me out there running around, half-ass asthma and bad feet. That's what he looks like. He looks like he's looking around. He's not no emotion. He's not hyped. He's not getting his teammates hyped. He's just out there trying to survive.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anybody to know he's 35 years old. Yeah. And it's starting to show. Like he's 35.
Remember the last year we had Ox?
Yeah.
Actually, it might have been the second to the last year we had Ox, but we used to always remember how Ox used to get into position. He's so dynamic getting into position, and then he would put it in the 23rd row every time. And you just be like, hey, man, you got to do is get that shot down. Just get it down.
You see him now that he's at Liverpool?
Yeah.
You see his whole demeanor. Look, you weren't here for that game. I was like, damn, that's not even, he's unrecognizable.
That one. I got to watch that one.
Oh, but yeah,
yeah.
I was tripping off.
Yeah, he was like a defensive man.
He was like, but he was not fucking around. He was serious. No smiles. It was no like, yeah, great. These are my mates, or whatever they say. You know what I mean? He didn't
his Vinger smile.
Yeah,
I love you, son.
It was none of that. No, we have not played West Ham this year. Look at this. We don't even know. I just looked at the schedule now. So we scored 2 against Newcastle. 1-0 against Watford. They had a man sent off. Come on, dude. Get out of here. Top 8. Let's see where we're at now. Look at me. Before we get out of here. Wolves are in 8th right now with 21 points. We're in 7th. And Wolves are like, cool. We got these marks. Brighton sitting at 20, like, yep. Aston Villa got Steven Gerrard as their coach. 19th. Leicester. Everton's up. Yeah, come on, dude. You might be right. Because we're in 7th now, and the teams we got to worry about are Wolves, Brighton, Villa, and Leicester City. I'm not even going to say Everton, even though they just beat us. But so that's 4 teams.
I'm just saying, in the first week of December, I can't call it.
No, you're right. You're right.
I can't call it yet.
You might be right. But
some of these teams got a lot of Africans.
It'll be interesting to see what Liverpool does without Musty Mo and Mane. Mane's all pissed.
The heart and soul. What about Origi? What's he?
He's Belgium.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, tremendous. Good job, Fitty. You got your headphones and shit. You're all discombobulated. I love it. But hey, you did good today, and we could hear you. And tremendous.
Man, I'm tore up. I'm tore up, man.
What happened?
From the flying, from the 16-hour flights.
I could tell. You seem like you're like
the last podcast. It hadn't set in yet.
Yeah.
And now it has. And my back is killing me.
You got your back?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, you're in California now. They have places for that.
Okay. All right.
I think they're called dispensaries, but I don't know.
Hey, hit me up, dog. Let me know.
Gotcha. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We tried to get this one right after the match. So, we didn't really have our shit together, but we made some good points, and y'all can kiss my ass if you know. I'm just playing. We do most of our damage on Twitter at CITM Podcast, on Instagram, Caught in Two Minds. Shout out to all the Africans out there who follow us on Facebook. Much love. My homie in Indonesia, Gong Lee. Tony, AFC 66. The London Cabbie. Great follow on Twitter. Cracks me up. Me and him had a few laughs today. Oh, that fool said, look at me. That fool said, he said, Eddie and Keita's coming on. Wait, hold on. I can read it right now. Hold on. Go ahead and keep talking right quick.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Ron and Pookie Doo. And always my boy Little Do Stables. What is it, 24 or something? What's the number? Something.
I always forget
12. Little Do Stables 12.
When Eddie and Keita came on, he said, Everton defense, be worried. Now when Keita's coming on, said nobody ever. Anyway, shout out to Tony AFC 66. That's gonna do it.
I almost answered him because he did deliver 2 nice passes. Oh, don't start nothing, Fitz. Oh,
I'm with Tony, dude. Eddie, it's not Eddie's fault. I'm gonna say that before I go in on him. It's not his fault. He was never given full opportunity to do anything. He's just a guy that we just kind of kept around and let's throw him in, see what he can do.
Yeah.
He hasn't played all year, but go ahead. He's just been one of those guys.
Marlo Stanfield from The Wire? What? Marlo.
But yeah, anyway, we're out of here. We're going to get this one out. It's going to be on YouTube. Go check it out. If you watch us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, share it. And if you're listening to it, especially on iTunes or anywhere, hey, leave a review and share it. Get the word out.
Yes,
Appreciate the love. And
we are bona fide.
Peace.
Peace.
Twisting, turning, That's a penalty, is it? No, he's still going. Oh, how about that? How about that?
Thank you for tuning into Caught in Two Minds. Please head on over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and review. All feedback is much appreciated. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at CITM Podcasts, at Guna Rush, and at eMarshall Comedy. The music of this podcast is brought to you by Statics. If you like what you hear, please head on over to staticsmusic.com and be sure to follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Statics Music. That's STATX Music. Peace.